What's going on, YouTube family? Welcome to Automotive Life. My name is Lucky, and today we're going to be talking about why Turo sucks. Now, full disclaimer, I know Turo is a great tool that you can use to get your foot in the automotive industry. It has a very low cost of entry, so if you're interested in getting the rental car business, it's one of the few things you can jump into with just a few dollars in your pocket, a single car, and a cell phone, and you could start your rental car business. But we've been talking about this for about 2 years, and now it's finally come to the point where if you're not transitioning off the platform and building your own rental car company, getting your dealer's license and doing other things like this, it's going to catch you and bite you in the ass, because as we talked about in our last Turo video, if you want to watch that one, it's almost like a race to the bottom. The prices just keep going lower and lower. People are getting more desperate, listing their cars for cheaper and cheaper. And so I'll summarize it real quick and then we'll move on to some of the new stuff. But currently right now, as we know, we make jokes all the time about the stimulus ballers and unemployment money and PPE money. All that stuff is gone. So a lot of the people with excess money to do traveling, to rent cars, to spend a few extra bucks, that is slowly dying down. We first saw it in some of the highline markets with the more exotic and expensive cars. And now it's trickling down to the economy cars where people are not paying as much. They're looking for good deals. They're not spending that extra money to rent a Mercedes on their trip. They're looking for something like a Nissan or a Honda or a Ford Focus or something like that. And so we watch the Turos on rental. Little by little, they're getting cheaper. Now, there's people like yourselves that are trying to do it for a business to make money. So you have certain costs for overhead, your time, your insurance, growth, depreciation, paying down your bills, all that other stuff. And then you have the other people. The people that are just putting up their cars because they don't want to make their car payment. They don't care about the future. They're not thinking about depreciating their vehicle. They're just, I'm going to take every dollar I make off of Turo and put it in my pocket and spend it and whatever else. And a lot of these people are so desperate now that their cars are not renting for $100 a day, they're starting to lower their dollar amounts. I've seen cars here in Vegas as low as 30 bucks a day, and they're still sitting there. Not like you post it for 30 bucks and it gets taken up in 5 minutes. Like there's multiple cars there for $30 a day that are just chilling there, that are not doing anything. So it's letting me know that the market is not as hot as what it used to be. I just recently rented a car in LA, brand new 22 Nissan Altima from Hertz with full insurance and everything. I was paying $33 a day. So it's getting more and more complicated to compete with stuff like that at the dollar price. Now, we talked about Turo. It's almost like a race to the bottom. It's like they're forcing the market for everyone to go cheaper and cheaper. And I kind of see how the market's turning with Turo. We talked about how before the algorithm would pick up people that, that were new to the platform. They'd push you out and help you get rentals. Now it's whoever has the most reviews, whoever has the most cars, because that's the biggest threat to Turo on leaving their platform. Because in the last few years, I can't even say how many people we've actually helped get their rental car license and get them off the platform and started their own business. So Turo is realizing this. So now they're focusing on the bigger companies, the people that have maybe 5 to 10 to 20 to 30 cars, less than or more than the people, let's say like yourself, that has maybe 2 cars, that's you and your wife are renting something on the weekends, just making a little side money as a side hustle. They're not going to be catering to you as much as they're catering to these people, because those big companies are now their bread and butter, and they're starting to get scared because, like I said, they are leaving the platform. People are getting smarter. Also, there's a lot of people with maybe 1 or 2 cars that are also leaving the platform, because the days of the $100 every single car is gone. Everybody thought the gravy train would never end. We talked about how the prices were going to go back to 2019. Everybody thought I was crazy and there's no way it's going to happen. Well, here we are today, and literally the prices are next to nothing. Now, I'm here in Vegas. It's a busy city. It's a very travel city, and our prices are getting much, much lower, which I was shocked. I didn't think that we'd catch up to it because we're such a transient town. We have so many people coming here, but I would love to hear the feedback in your current market. Now, these videos are to help educate and to share information, but it's very important that I get what's going on in your current market, because even though I'll talk about different markets that I know, there's some markets that we don't have any idea on. So if you could put in the comment section below what kind of cars you're renting, how often do you stay rented, are you making money, are you thinking of liquidating your cars and getting off the platform, are you thinking about getting your rental car license, please share that in the comment section below, because every time we do this, like I said, it's like we're gaining that knowledge. I also, in the bio below or description below, I have a link to my Facebook group. I'm going to start getting more active on there. We got about, I think, 1,000 people on there, and people are not talking. The whole point of that group is to share information. Like, hey, I'm in Dallas, Texas. I rent out, I don't know, Kias, and the market's really slow. what are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? Because as we share this information, it's going to help all of us grow. So as of right now, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the crazy stuff that I'm seeing on Turo. And then at the end, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys a lot of tips and tricks. I normally charge for this stuff, but I want to just give it to you because Turo is screwing people so bad. It's ridiculous. So we talked a little bit how Turo's not really focusing on the small guys anymore. They don't even care. And now it's getting to the point where the market is so saturated on the platform that we made a few videos, I think it was about a month back, where they just started kicking people off for no reason. And still to this day, I go to the comment section every day and there's people like, I just got kicked off of Turo for no reason. They kicked me off, and it's becoming more frequent because now if you're not giving people 5-star reviews, you're not taking care of your cars, and if you don't do certain things, it gives them an excuse to kick you off. Now, there are some people that are justified with maybe bad customer service, their cars are crap, which I've seen a lot of crappy cars on Turo, which I can share with one a little bit later, but I've seen some people that are getting basically ridiculed and screwed over, because one of the reasons why I got off Turo a long time ago and just did only our online rentals, we only use Turo as a lead funnel, is when we rented out cars, if somebody complained saying, hey, the brakes are squeaking, my tire's flat, it looks bald, Turo would automatically cancel the trip and give them back their money, and I had no recourse, nothing to say. Even though I had documentation, the brakes were changed, the tires were inspected before they left, here's the tread depth, everything is up to code, everything's up to snuff, you know, we're good to go, and so give me my money back. But they always do that. There's a lot of people out there, and I'm going to tell you this right now, this is a big scam. All they have to do is say that your car is unsafe, and Turo will give them back their money like that, and now you're screwed. So they'll drive the car all day, and then about an hour, hour and a half before it's time to give it back, they'll start complaining that, you know, it's making noise, it doesn't feel safe, it has issues, and then they just leave it where it's at. Turo lets them get away with it because they want to take care of the customers, and they're basically screwing a lot of their hosts. And so one of my clients here in Vegas, that's what happened to him. He had a little over, I think, 10 cars, and he had 2 people call that supposedly had flat tires. He got there, the tires were flat, he put air into them, checked them for any type of holes or anything else, there was nothing there. People just let the air out of the tires just so they didn't have to pay the 50, 60, 70 bucks, whatever it was, to rent his vehicles. And there's a lot of these cheap people that are coming around there that are starting to realize that that's the way you can get free rides on like Turo, Hire a Car, and stuff like that. So Turo's not really taking care of their customers. And also, I'm going to show you a little video here a little bit later from my friend Rob. He had one of his clients or his friends get screwed over with a $17,000 tow bill. It's absolutely insane. I'm going to leave a link in the description below so this way you can check out his video and his channel, because he's been doing the rental car business for a very long time. He's got a lot of knowledge, and he's kind of sharing some stuff on Turo. Hopefully when he gets to Vegas, we'll do a Turo video, but you know, very knowledgeable guy, will tell you about the rental car business and everything else, and he'll basically take what I'd say and put it against him. I'm also going to leave a link for another friend of mine, Houston from Royalty Exotics, his company. So you have 3 different people that do rental cars for a living, so you can actually see how we all talk. Almost everything we say is kind of very similar. Our issues with Turo and some of these other things. So we, you know, like I said, we talked about getting off the platform. If you're serious about doing the rental car business, please start putting your money together and start working towards getting off the platform. I know it's very easy and you're probably loving it right now, but if your market's getting tighter and the money's getting less and you're starting to see some of your friends kicked off, it's only a matter of time before you do. So, you know, like I said, Rob had that customer with a $17,000 tow bill. I just had a client of mine where he drove the car, he booked it, so he was going to go from Vegas to LA and back to Vegas. Told the renter exactly what he was going to do, told him everything else, you know, and he said okay. And on top of that, he was going to drive it and leave it at the airport, which he agreed with, I guess, with the customer that was renting it to him. Well, he called me up. He has text messages. He has verification via email saying that he's going to take it to California, drive it back, and put it there. He gets a $5,000 bill for a set of 4 tires and some sort of like tow bill, which they won't describe how much the tires or the tow bill were. Just the total bill was $5,000 on where they had to pick up his car from the airport and tow it back to the guy's facility because it was unsafe to drive and it wasn't parked in an authorized area, which he recommended, which the guy told him to leave it in long-term parking in this spot and he'll come get the key later. So little things like this are starting to happen where, you know, people are like, oh, it's a fluke, it's a random thing. I'm not joking, hundreds of messages a month of people with Turo issues, Hire Car issues, some of these other little smaller apps, Haggerty, what was the other one? Get Around. There's a bunch of these ones. They're all starting to have major issues with basically, because the money's not there. So what are they gonna do? Start picking and clawing at every dollar they can find. And this is what's gonna happen in the market as we move forward. It's gonna get tougher and tougher. It's gonna get much harder. And then you guys are gonna realize like, wow, I can't really get into this industry or stay in this industry with this low of profit margins. I need to change around. So right now, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys some tips. Now, usually I charge for consulting on this stuff, but this stuff I'm just gonna give you free because Turo's screwing so many people. So if you do have a lot of cars currently in your name, liquidate your fleet. You're gonna thank me later. I know you're worried about probably losing money. Liquidate your cars, get them out of your personal name. Once you get your rental car name, we can get you lines of credit where you can actually go ahead and transfer those over to there, or you can get those ones off right now. So this way your personal credit is not shot. Too many people listen to these other people on YouTube, which I won't say names, recommend going to buy 6 to 7 cars at one dealership at one time under your personal name and getting all these at one shot. Never do that. You're screwing up your credit. You can go get it the correct way. Once you get your license, there's many companies that will give you lines of credit. You don't have to have an exorbitant amount of business credit. That is all personal, like bullshit. All you have to do is have a personal guarantor. You sign for your corporate lines. We get maybe 4 or 5 cars on your first line as you get started. Once you build a little bit of process, we go back and we get you some more. But that's the way you correctly do it if you're going to be transitioning from Turo to your rental car business, because no insurance policy will cover your vehicles unless they're in your corporation's name. This is very important. This is your first step in becoming an actual rental car company, is you need to get everything out of your personal name out and off. And you start over with your corporate credit, with your cars that are actually in your rental car company's name. Now, some of the fees and some of the interest is not as cheap as a personal, but it's designed that way. It's shorter terms. It's to help outrun depreciation. We talk about this a lot on the channel. A lot of people fail within the first 2 years because they beat the hell out of their cars and then they don't pay enough down on it. And when they go to trade them in, they're $10, $15, $20, $30,000 upside down. When it comes to the exotic cars, ask some of the guys here that I put in links in the description, they'll be $100, $200, sometimes $1,000 upside down in a car, especially McLarens, because they run them out, beat the hell out of them, and they're not worth anything. So those are some of the things you need to set up today. So if, like I said, the market is extremely hot right now. A lot of people are overpaying for cars. Take advantage of this. All the cars that are in your personal name, just get rid of them. Go out, get a new LLC, and it has to be an LLC. Do not get an S Corp, anything else, because it's not a question of if, it's just a question of when you get sued when you're a rental car company. Make sure you put that in there and then go ahead and start getting your cars. You know, get one under your corporate name, start building it. If you want to still stay on Turo, you could stay on there until you build out your platform and start running out to the general public. But that's something you need to do. Also, so you want to use Turo just as a lead generator to get customers in. Also, you use it to help if the customer, let's say, has a foreign driver's license or doesn't have insurance, because sometimes selling a supplemental policy is a little bit more expensive and some people can't afford it. Also, like my current policy, or the one I had back then, would not cover people from out of the country, so I had to do those on Turo. But that's fine. You can keep Turo for that. So you got that. You got it, like I said, as a lead generator. Every time somebody messages you on a car, see if you can bring them to your platform. Now, I know some people are going to be triggered and be like, oh my God, Lucky, that's against the terms and service of Turo. If you're planning on getting off Turo, they're going to screw you, whatever. It's probably going to happen to you anyway. So, you know, as long as you're honest with your licensed company, don't ever take cars off of Turo to put in your name on a personal level that you don't have business insurance, you don't have your cars registered in your name, you're just putting them out there for fun off platform. Don't ever do that, because now you're at risk for whatever happens to that car. In some states, you can go to jail. They can impound your cars. Bad juju. Don't even do that. So if you don't have a license, keep it on Turo. Once you have your license, you can switch different things. Like if the customer's running it for 5 days, say, okay, well, your first day you can run it on Turo, but if you want to extend it, let's go on to my platform so this way we can save you a few bucks, and most people will go with it. So now that we have that out of the way, I know a lot of people are wondering, well, how do I grow my business? How do I get away from Turo? I'm going to tell you this is my easiest thing. I put up daily rentals and weekly rental ads on Facebook Marketplace and Facebook ads. It's very, very simple. You create a page. Just do something simple. Let's say you have a Nissan Sentra. You put the Nissan Sentra and you put rentals starting as low as $45 a day. and then you just post it up on Facebook. And then once you post it on your page, right underneath there, there's gonna be a button called Boost. You could boost it. Once you get to Boost, you can just do generic terms. I wanna do 50 miles within my area, men and women between 21 and 45 years old, and just throw it out there. Put $100 behind it your first week. After you do that ad, right after that, create another ad, same thing. I have a Nissan Sentra that I'm willing to rent out for, let's say, $300 a week. Put it up there, do the boost, do the exact same thing. Sit back and watch and let the leads start coming in. As your inbox starts to fill up, this will let you know what's most desired in your market, what will work. So if you want to do this with cars, trucks, motorcycles, boats, jet skis, doesn't matter. This works with everything. So this way, as you start getting the leads in, you're like, well, you know what? A lot of these people want to rent my cars for weekly use instead of daily. So maybe your new business plan is to switch over to weekly. Or I even have some like where if you have a truck or like a U-Haul or something like that and you want to rent it out per hour, you can do specials on hourly rentals and see how much leads you get in from there. Everything you're thinking about doing, all you have to do is put $100 behind an ad on Facebook and basically test the theory. We call them bait ads. It's letting us know what kind of a market there is. If once you get about 20, 30 messages, start messaging the people, hey, you know what, folks, currently we're out of weekly rentals, but we're getting more soon. I'll put you on our list. And then go to the auction. Start buying some cars, putting them on there and filling them up. But this is a good inclination of starting to build your clients so you can get away from Turo and away from Hire a Car and start building your own business. So this way, not only can you grow off the platform, but you can be really legit. You can have a real license. You can have your own real corporate insurance policy. You can sell additional binders to all your clients and you can do it correctly. And you can build something that will build money for your family instead of just relying on Turo. Because like I said, any day now, Turo can either go out of business or they can just kick you off the platform and you're left with nothing. So, I'm not going to tell you to jump off today, but don't put all your eggs in one basket. Even if you're on Hire a Car, Turo, Get Around, and like all the other rideshare apps, please take the time, look and do the research on what it takes to get your rental car license. Now, if you have any questions, like I said, my information is down below. You can shoot us an email. If you want to book a consulting call, I'll go over everything you pretty much need in most states. We know how to set them up. Some states you need more things. Other ones you actually need dealer's licenses before you actually get a rental car license. So, we can go over some of those things with you on those calls. Any type of questions, if you're looking to liquidate your current fleet, let us know. We'll try to help you and point you in the right direction on where to go. But the biggest thing is I want to see you guys succeed long term, because the more people and more educated people we get in this automotive industry, it helps grow it to a much more broader and I guess brighter future, where right now it's a lot of people that are just, they come in, they have a bunch of fun. It's like a money pool. They grab all the money and then they leave. And then nobody wants to stay in the business for long term. But if you do these things like we talked about in this video and start building your life off the platform, building your business off the platform and start actually getting yourself set up the correct way, I promise you it'll pay massive dividends in the future. But anyways, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment section below. I try to answer every single one myself, none of my staff, just me. Also, if you could do me a huge favor and gently squeeze the like button for the YouTube algorithm, it helps me find more amazing people like yourselves. Also, please consider subscribing. We do post 3 times a week. And also make sure you click the notification bell. And once again, follow us on Instagram, automotive.life, and we'll see you next video.